Hello friends, this is Dr. Sims with LYOL Life Coaching. Live your own life. And today I want to talk to you about life itself. Because life has become, for many of us, very confusing at this point and at this phase of it, because everything is changing. Nothing is the way that it used to be. And it is literally as life itself is becoming new, which in essence it is. We're actually entering into a new trend of thoughts, which is ultimately changing the civilization. We're seeing our civilization change because life itself is changing. And this has happened through the years. Over the years, life have made several changes and twists and turns from the beginning until now. And here we are standing at the threshing floor, or the entrance of another change in life. Life is changing again. And when life changes, we find ourselves trying to figure out, where do we fit? What are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to handle and process these changes? Who are we in the midst of this change? Or who are we to be in this newness of life? And it could be quite distracting. And when I say distracting, I mean distracting. It could get you off track. So you have to really intentionally track your life, or train up your life to stay on track. And when I use the statement train up, in the word picture, it's literally that, train up. Because to train up is just what you see whenever you behold a train on the track. The one cart is connected to the previous cart, and the next cart to the previous cart, and the following cart to the previous cart. So is the same with the seasons and the circumstances of our life. You have to train it up with the previous season or experience and stay on track with that. Life is taking you somewhere. You're along for the ride. Life itself will navigate you through each season, each experience, each circumstance. Am I saying that you have no say in what happens in life? Absolutely. It depends on what you're filling your carts with. Whenever you consider a train, they're all carrying something. And your life will deliver whatever you're carrying, which means if you're carrying nothing, the life will, or the train of life will deliver you to nothing. But if you're carrying substance that is good for prosperity and hope and the fulfillment of your dreams, your train, the train of life, will lead you into those places that the goods and the treasures and the wealth that fill the carts and the hearts of your life will be delivered in their proper places. The world is changing. The world is changing. And what do we do right now that everything is changing? I think that's the big question. Everybody's searching for their niche now, so to speak. Everybody wants to be, at their top, at their peak right now. And it's a great desire. It's a great want. It's a great will. But realistically, we all cannot be at our top or at our peak at the same time, because there comes a time whenever you must come down from your peak. So you must take your time getting up there. In architects, you'll find that whenever they're getting ready to erect a building that is going to be really high or stand very tall, the foundation of the building must be almost as deep down in the ground as it will stand tall to ensure stability for the height of the building. Why do I say this? I say this because many of us are trying to erect this high, very tall, very gaudy life. But in the foundational structure of what we're building, there is no depthness. There is no internal depthness, no mental, psychological depthness, no intellectual depthness. And we're building just on visuals, what we see. And what we see creates desire. And so now we begin to desire what we see. And we begin to create a mock version or our own version of what we see someone else is able to accomplish in life. And they could share with you their secrets and their principles, and they may be real. But let me say this to you. Everything that is real is not necessarily right. There are a lot of things right now in this life that are real, but these things are not right. And so I want you to remember that just because something is real, it doesn't mean that it's right. There are a lot of things that you deal with, a lot of your struggles, things that you struggle with, that you don't like, that you want to do away with in your life. They're real, aren't they? I know they are. Mine are. They're real, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're right. And so in this transition that we're facing in life, just remember that just because something seems real or it feels real doesn't necessarily mean it's right. Even consider this in your intimate affairs of relationship. You may have love for someone. You may feel deeply, deeply affectionate towards an individual. And the feelings you're feeling are real, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're right, or that individual or this relationship is right for you. But you cannot deny that the feelings are real. I'm simply saying that everything that is real is not right, and just because something is real doesn't make it right. We have real homicides in this nation daily. We have real criminals. But just because they're real doesn't mean that they're right. I have witnessed over the years this trending statement become a real action for many people. And that is, I'm just going to keep it real. And we make statements, and even I myself behind my statement, I say real talk. But just because it's real doesn't mean it's right. Somebody could put real talk behind whatever they say. But just because they say real talk behind it don't mean that it's right talk. And you could carry yourself in a way of just keeping it real. But just because you're keeping it real doesn't mean that you're keeping it right. Life is changing. Let's be open to discover the newness of life and the way that we should walk in this new civilization, this new trend of thoughts, this new introduction of our world and reality that we're coming into, because it's here. It's here, and it's nothing we could do about it except enter into it. And we must enter into it with some depthness, intellectual depthness, emotional depthness, psychological depthness, so that we will be aware of where we are and where we're going, and so that we will not be distracted, but we would stay on track, because we're trained up, and our carts are not empty, but they're filled with the very dreams and the very aspirations and the very hope that is necessary for tomorrow. I'm Dr. Eric Sims, and that's my look on life. I'll talk to you next time, but until then, remember, live your own life. LYOL. Godspeed.